Hey, how's it going? We're back in Manchester today to record some new music. We're recording a new album that I've been working on. It's really exciting to be back in the studio, and today we're actually in a new venue at the University of Manchester. This is where I studied music. So this album is something that I've been wanting to do for years really, and it's just been finding the right time. But it's basically a culmination of everything that I've learned through arranging, electronic music for orchestra. So the tunes are a kind of hybrid classical, orchestral and electronic vibe. There's a lot of production on it. There's a lot of beats and synths as well as the orchestral parts. It was 2005 that I actually came to uni and then graduated in 2009, and then we set up the orchestra in 2011. And so it was the journey through that influenced my kind of ambitions with the orchestra, the kind of blending of the different genres. Just having a lunch break. We've managed to get 2 tracks done, which is what we planned for that first session. What amazes me every time is we get in here and, the guys have seen the music maybe, a couple of days ago, and they just come in and smash it out. And I stand there and I'm like, I don't really have any feedback. It sounds awesome. So that's really great. I never take it for granted how amazing these musicians are. They just turn up, smash it out, go and have a lunch, come back, smash it out again. So it is amazing. But just a little bit about the process, or a little bit about the setup. Some people have asked before about why we've got earphones in. And so what we've got back here is the Northern Cowboys, Tom and Mark, who do our recording. This is their setup here. And with the original stuff, there's a lot of synths and production. So the musicians are hearing that and a click track. So a click track is just a metronome, so just keeps everyone in time, and they'll get a balance of that and the track. And what I've done with those ones where there's beats is I'll take out the click when there's beats because they've got that to play to. And what that gives us is the ability to mix different takes if we need to. Quite often it's just a take that we use, a good take happens and that's the one we use. But sometimes if we need to just put a little bit in from a different take, that's really useful to have, and if we play into a click, then it makes those edits so much better and easier to do in the mix. That's why we're wearing headphones. It's not really to hear each other because we're in a good space, we're in a good concert hall where the acoustics are great, everyone can hear each other. It's just for that, yeah. When we do the live shows, it's more about monitoring so they can hear themselves, so that I can talk to people if I need to, or the front of house guys can talk. So it's always good to have these. So I hope that answers those questions. If anyone's interested in tech, we're recording into Logic. Tom and Mark use Pro Tools, but because I had the sessions all set up with the other parts, we just decided to stay in Logic, and I think it just makes it easier because we're running off my laptop, so I'll be able to take everything. Everything's just on a little hard drive. I'll be able to take that and just start working on it, tomorrow or whenever. So yeah, we have that, and then we've got this set up. I don't know anything about this. The Focusrite is an interface. So in brief, the interface hooks up to my laptop, and that's how we get all the mics into there. So the mics all come along these cables, of which there are many, into the interface, and then the interface is connected to my laptop, and that's how we see all the channels and hear all the channels. And so we've got a stereo pair set up here, which, to be honest, is a great capture of the orchestra because it's out the front, so it captures everything as it sounds. We've got one in the middle as well for a mono option. That's always nice. You can add that into the mix and add a bit of distortion just to give it a bit of grit. And then basically every group of instruments has got a microphone. So cellos there. So there's 2 cello players sharing that mic. There's one back here. And then all through the orchestra. It's a lot of channels and it's a lot of setup, and having that setup day yesterday made such a difference. It meant that we could arrive today and just crack on. I think we've got 16 orchestra channels. With cameras, if people are interested, we've got 10 cameras rolling, and I'm still doing it myself where I run around and operate each one, and quite an old school setup now. We've got SLR cameras and GoPros basically that are rolling on different sections of the orchestra. We've got one wide GoPro up here, which is good to have. And also, maybe in a bit, we're going to try and get the drone up in the air. I say in the air, in the ceiling, and just get some nice kind of panning aerial shots. So there's lots going on, but it's all going well so far. So I spent 4 years studying here at the Martin Harris Centre at the University of Manchester. I studied percussion and composition, and then I did a master's in composition. And that's where I learned about orchestration and about writing for orchestras. It was here that I wrote my first orchestra piece. It was a chamber orchestra. I wrote it in my 3rd year for my 3rd year composition course. And it's a funny thing because people say, oh, should our kids go to uni or whatever? And for me, it was a brilliant experience. It was, invaluable amount of knowledge and experience, being able to come into this hall whenever and kind of play things. And I used to get the percussion equipment in here and have a jam with my mates and stuff. And that is a reason to go. But I know that fees have gone up and stuff like that. And I don't think it's essential. You can learn orchestration and you can learn about writing for orchestras. But having the space and having 4 years dedicated to it, I think is why I'm able to do what I do now, and why I can write for orchestras. And so I feel very nostalgic being here, and also very grateful that I was able to come here. I don't take it for granted that I was able to come to a musical institution like this, where you learn so much and meet so many cool musicians. And it really prepares you so that with something like this, you can go, I know all the bits of how to do this. It's just about putting it together and collaboration, Tom and Mark, the Northern Cowboys who do the audio, working with them, Rhiannon, liaising with all the players and stuff, the venue, letting us come in here, and then the musicians. And some of the musicians here in Kaleidoscope were at university with me, so it's really nice. We all walked in this morning, it was like, whoa, I've not been here for probably 12 years, and, nothing's changed, but then everything's changed, life has changed, but... So it's really great being here, and I think the sound is brilliant. Yeah, the atmosphere is great, and it's just a cool space to do stuff in. So it's day 2. We had a great day yesterday. We managed to get through 6 pieces out of the 7 that we had planned. So today we've got a smaller ensemble. So over the last few years, we've done candlelight concerts, paying tribute to Daft Punk and Calvin Harris at Manchester Cathedral, and we did some shows in Liverpool and London as well. So we're using that ensemble size today. So it's a 14-piece chamber orchestra. So you have a string septet. So it's 2 violins, 2 violas, 2 cellos, and a double bass. And they're all on individual parts. And then 1 of each wind and 1 of each brass. So I've written the music to suit those, obviously, different sizes, and then thought about which album tracks would work with the big orchestra and which with the small. And the track we didn't get done yesterday was a song called Through the Clouds that I wrote the arrangement 5 years ago, I think it was. And my friend Alex D wrote a vocal for it. So I'm just rearranging it for this smaller ensemble so that we can get an orchestra version down. It was Rhiannon's idea. She was like, maybe we could do that one with this ensemble. So I'm just sat here doing some last minute arranging. But it's good because this is why it's great to have this extra time, because we can make those decisions, we can make those calls and go, okay, we've probably got enough time today. I think we've got 6 pieces to do. So if we've got this one as a spare, as an extra, then happy days. Then we'll have got everything done. But yeah, yesterday was great. It's been great being in this space, and yeah, more today.